So you may wanna invest in rental property, or you are already a rental property investor. So do you know what a cap rate is? That's what I wanna talk to you about today, and we're starting right now. So far, the idea of a cap rate may seem like discussing heart surgery, but don't worry, it's just a number in a report that measures an abstract concept called risk. We all know that word, and it's very important when we are investing. But in reality, a cap rate is a very practical tool. As a rental property investor, you can use it for several things. One of them is to pick a market, a submarket, or a type of property that you want to invest in. Number two, to set goals and perform analysis for rental acquisitions. So if you want to buy, you can perform the analysis before to set the goals that you want to achieve. And number three, when you're deciding to sell an existing property. Okay, so in other words, a cap rate helps you make good decisions. And good decisions always lead to you accomplishing your overall real estate financial goals, which is very important. I want to do it together with you. So first, you'll need to know the annual rental income of the property that we are going to use. Okay? If you are considering buying a property that was already a rental, so you can have that information because it was already disclosed during your due diligence period to get that house, that property, that apartment, whatever it is that you have. Let's do it together. For example, let's assume a rental property is going to produce us $9,000 a year in gross rental income. Okay? Once you have that rental income, you are going to subtract the expenses. What are the expenses? So they are property management fees that are a common expense for investment properties. And these fees are usually around 10%. Okay? So for a rental property making $9,000 of income annually, property management fees will be around $900. So you are going to subtract the $900 from the $9,000. That's our first expense. Other expense that we need to subtract from the gross rental income include annual maintenance costs, property taxes, and insurance. Okay, so for this example that we're doing right now, we are going to subtract $450 for annual maintenance. We are going to take $710 for property taxes, and we are going to use $650 for insurance. Okay, so after we subtract these expenses from the gross income, we will get the net income. For example, the net income after all the expenses will be $6,290. That is our magic number. Voila! Once you know the rental income, we will divide that number by the purchase price. So take that number and move that decimal point 2 spaces to the right. That will give you your cap rate percentage. For example, another way to do it, so let's say the property was purchased for $40,000. Then we take the net income of $6,290 and we divide it by the $40,000, which was the purchase price. This gives us 0.15725. When you move the decimal point 2 spaces to the right, that gives us the cap rate of 15.7%. All right? So again, a simple formula to calculate the rates is gross income minus expenses. That will give you the net income. You divide that net income by the purchase price, and then you move those decimals, or you can also multiply by 100, and this is your cap rate. Simple, right? You can try, you can, use any numbers, or if you are planning on buying a property with a different purchase price, just play with that. It is very helpful. Now, let's talk about 3 major factors that affect cap rates. So, like taking temperature of the air, a cap rate is just a way of measuring actual investment activity in the real world, okay? And it's just like geography and the weather patterns and everything that affects the temperature. There is 3 major factors that affect those cap rates. So number 1, macro level economics and demographics. This generally trace economic and demographic outcome over a large population. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, micro level market influences. So micro refers to small scale, individual or small market influences. So number 1 was a big scale, number 2 to small scale individual or small market influences. And number 3 is the type of property. So you have to, of course, be very careful with those 3 items that will affect that cap rate and then your investment. So these 3 factors combine to give you each individual property or local market its unique cap rate. Okay, I hope this helps. It seems or sounds a little complicated, but it's not once you get the hang of it. And it's very important that you know it, because it will determine how good of an investment is what you have or what you're looking for. All right, thank you so much for being here again. This is Natalia Echeverri with Coldwell Banker, and I will see you next week.